Have you ever been in one of those conversations that just feels like a trap? You know, the one where you're trying to explain yourself to someone who seems absolutely committed to misunderstanding you? It is so draining, it's frustrating, and honestly, it feels like a game you just can't win. Well, today, we're gonna dive into a totally different strategy, a quiet revolution that isn't about arguing louder, but about getting smarter. Let's explore how to win a game you were never meant to play in the first place. So here's our game plan. First, we'll break down exactly why arguing is such a trap. Then, we're gonna unpack a toolkit with two incredibly powerful weapons: silence and distance. After that, we'll look at the fuel that makes it all work, and that's self-respect. And finally, we'll see what this quiet victory actually looks and feels like. Okay, let's start with the core problem, what we're calling the unwinnable game. See, when you get sucked into engaging with manipulative or disrespectful people on their own turf by explaining, justifying, and defending yourself, you are playing a game that is completely rigged against you. This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Toxic people, they don't listen to understand you. They listen to find ammunition, to twist your words. Your explanations aren't a bridge to clarity. They're just fuel for their fire. So the very first rule of this new game is to just stop explaining. And this is the internal tug of war that makes these situations so exhausting. Part of you wants peace, you just want to be understood, but your gut instinct is to react, right? To defend yourself, to set the record straight. Manipulators count on that. They know that your reaction is what gives them control over your emotional state. So if explaining is a trap and reacting just gives them all the power, the big question is, how do you actually win? Well, you win by changing the game completely. And now we're going to look at the tools that will help you do just that. All right, let's open up the toolkit. Our first tool is the power of silence. Now, this is not about being passive or being weak. Nope, it's the exact opposite. It's about making a strategic choice to not engage, and in doing so, you reclaim all of the power in that interaction. Think of it this way. A manipulator has a script, right? They expect you to get angry or defensive or upset, but when you respond with calm silence, you throw their entire script right out the window. They have no idea what to do next, because your silence is the one thing they cannot control or predict. And just look at the difference here. Reacting is automatic. You're just giving them exactly what they want, your emotional energy. But observing, that's a conscious choice. You take a step back, you watch their behavior, and you deny them the fuel they're craving. Their ego starves, and you get clarity. So how do you actually do this? It's simpler than you might think. First, just pause. Take a breath instead of immediately firing back. Second, try to keep your facial expression neutral. Don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you angry or hurt. And third, just let the silence hang in the air. It forces them to sit with their own words. You have to remember this. Your anger is predictable. They know how to handle it. Heck, they often enjoy it. But your calm, deliberate silence, oh, that terrifies them. That is the moment they realize they've lost control, not just of the conversation, but of you. Okay, so that's silence. Our second tool is just as crucial, the art of distance. If silence is your shield in the heat of the moment, then distance is the fortress you build to protect your long-term peace and your energy. Now, this isn't about giving someone the cold shoulder just to punish them. It's a logical consequence of their behavior. You are simply and quietly removing their access to your time, your energy, and your presence because they've proven they don't respect it. It's that simple. So why is this so effective? Well, first, it starves them of their fuel, which is your attention. Second, you know the saying, absence teaches lessons presence never could? When you're not there to fix things, they're forced to confront that void. It also makes your energy a scarce resource, and people always value what's scarce. And finally, it's a powerful reminder that you don't have to show up to every argument you're invited to. Really, what this all comes down to is this. Your quiet exit, that deliberate withdrawal, sends a more powerful message than any heated argument ever could. It says, my peace is way more valuable than this conflict. Now, we have our tools, we've got silence and distance. But, tools are useless without a power source. That power source, the engine that drives this entire strategy, is self-respect. Let's be really clear about the root cause here. When you are constantly seeking someone's approval, you are silently telling them that their opinion of you is more important than your own. That dynamic is basically an open invitation for disrespect. On the other hand, genuine self-respect acts like a protective barrier. It's like an invisible wall that other people can actually sense. They understand, without you having to say a single word, that there are lines you will not allow them to cross. So what is self-respect in action? Well, it's that moment you finally decide that your inner peace is more important than their validation. It's the internal boundary that quietly but firmly teaches everyone around you exactly how you expect to be treated. This is the core lesson right here. Every single time you tolerate disrespect, you are teaching that person that it's okay. The moment you stop tolerating it, by using silence, by using distance, you begin teaching a brand new lesson, one based on your own self-worth. So what happens when you combine these powerful tools with that engine of self-respect? You achieve the quiet victory. And this isn't some loud, dramatic win. It's a calm, internal shift that changes absolutely everything. Let's just look at the results. Their script becomes totally useless. Your calmness exposes their chaos for what it really is. Their manipulation just falls apart because you can finally see it clearly. And most importantly, your peace, which they took from you, it returns. And in that moment of clarity, they realize you were never weak. You were just tolerant. This is the ultimate power shift. People who thrive on chaos, they're not afraid of losing someone who will argue back. They are terrified of losing the person who stays centered, the person whose calmness provides this steady anchor that they secretly rely on, even as they try to destroy it. So if you take one thing away from this explainer, please let it be this. The moment you choose calm over chaos, the moment you choose observation over reaction, that is the exact moment their illusion of control shatters. That's your victory. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Your peace is your ultimate power. It's your most valuable currency. So take a moment and just ask yourself, who in your life are you giving it away to for free?